Alright guys, so here's that video. I promise. Here's my 2011 Honda Civic Si. Gonna do just a little walk around and in-depth tour. Thank you guys for that last video. The comments that I got, yes, it doesn't have any crazy views on it, but that's not my main focus. Yes, I would like to see more views, just like anybody else. The number, everything's about the analytics, but I just gotta remember that, you know, for a small amount of you guys who, you know, watch the videos or whatever, you know, you're all the one that counts. So getting a little bit of motivation just to pull out the DSLR and give you guys a little edit and try to. I'm not officially a comeback because I really want to get out of Arkansas, so I really don't want to go too crazy with any other car and whatever. I'll do an update on my life, whatever, but again, I just want to start trying to get back into at least doing something with the channel. So here she is again, 2011 Honda Civic Si, last of the 8th gen chassis. Beautiful car. I'm gonna keep saying that. Probably one of the best SIs ever made, other than the EM1, and yeah, maybe do your CRX or EF, EA chassis hatchback. But I love the 8th gen FD2 Type R. They're just beautiful. Best bang for your buck when it comes to performance, especially from a sedan. Boosted, man. Yeah, this car is beautiful. So yeah. So for the motor setup, it's still the matching number motor, one that came with the car from what I know. Car was stock when I bought it. So what I done with the internals for the bottom end, it was taken to the machine shop. I had them hone it for me. It's a shop in South Haven, Mississippi, which is not too far out from Memphis. I think they're called BB&T. They're more specialized in muscle cars. I think they're more in the Fox body, Mustangs and all that, 5.0, Coyote, you know how it goes. So yeah, I had them hone it. I could have done it myself the poor man's way, but I just want to make sure I had the crosshatch correct, close to manufacturer specs as possible. And yeah, stock rods, pistons with ARP rod bolts. So I'm really want to see how that will hold up with the power I want to throw at it. Aftermarket rod bearings, ACL rod bearings, main bearings, thrust bearings. They have a looser clearance than OEM, so I didn't have no problems with that. Type S oil pump, ported by me. As I'm sure you guys already know, the K20 Z3, K20 A3 out of the EP3 SI, and the K24s come with the balance shaft oil pump. So you know, cool mod a lot of guys would do. They save weight and have to do with that balance oil pump is they'll swap it out for a Type S or a FD2 RRC oil pump. Like I said, I ported mine. I just wanted to do it just for the fun of it and just to learn, and hopefully you'll flow the oil better. Who knows? As far as the head, stock cams, VTEC killer setup, just was experimenting. I wouldn't suggest doing it. I don't think I'm going to gain much from it anyways, but it has a cool idle to it. I'm going to start it up after I do this whole walk around. Supertech valve springs, retainers, valve seats, skunk too. Ported the head myself. A brand new timing chain. You have to replace the chain for the oil pump because you cannot use the stock one that came with the motor if you're doing the Type S oil pump mod. I have a oil pump guide. I have a timing chain guide. Sorry, it's a generic. It's not a name brand. So brand new chain and all of that. Brand new tensioner. So that is much for the motor setup. Nothing crazy. For the turbo setup, it's a K-Mod Sidewinder, eBay turbo. Like I said in the previous video, it's a Rev 9 6662. It's a T3 setup. The back is a legit tower wastegate. I know it's hard to see, so I probably could be lying to you guys, but I'm not. It's a legit 44mm with a 10-pound spring inside of it. I'm using push lock fittings. Here I have it, as you can see, all that nylon routing to down here, which you guys probably can't see. I'll take a picture, but I have down here is my 4-port Honda boost solenoid, max solenoid. I know it's probably the same, but I think some parts of it is different because I can't like use any sort of, I don't know what the company was, but they have like a beautiful holster. I put in the video, and I want to use that, but it can't work. So I think Honda the 4-port is different from the rest of the other max solenoids. So yeah, Rev 9 turbo, anti-surge housing. As you can see, the push lock fittings. I'm really in love with these. I like how they look. Yeah, wiring harness, tuck. Did this all myself. Deloomed some parts. Most of it I had to delume and route it how I wanted it. I left this out because if I'm correct, I'm not sure. I think this is used for timing, so I left that out. I have these labeled. So this is cam 1 and cam 2, I4, you know, so on and so on. So I bought myself a little label maker from Walmart and just labeled it, and yeah, just held up so far. If you guys are wondering, as far as my injector ground, I have it tucked all the way down here. And again, I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm surprised it worked. So yeah, as far as the injector setup, it's just generic Bosch 2200cc injectors. Hopefully I can get some that are flow tested and from a legit company. As far as my spark plug setup, I'm using the Iridium NGK K-Tune fuel rail. I love this fuel rail. Like I said in the last video, man, I'm not sponsored, so I don't mind having hybrid parts on here. As a matter of fact, I want to get the hybrid dipstick and the cover for the oil pan, so for the valve cover, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's some of the things I want to buy next, just to make it, you know, the looks and all that. So yeah, K-Tune fuel rail, grams fuel pressure regulator. It's leaking. I don't know why. If you guys know why, please let me know. But I plan on getting a K-Tune regulator. So yeah. As far as the valve cover, my boy Corey in Atlanta done this for me. This is the main piece of the car, actually. I told him I wanted this matte finish. I was talking to him on the phone yesterday, and he told me it's a special color code that he had to get, and I really like it. It's matte, but it still has a shine, and that's what I wanted. So I really love this valve cover. I bought myself some brand new acorn nuts, and the grommets are from Downstar. So yeah, I want to get some black acorn nuts. If you guys are wondering what I'm using to hold my spark plug coil packs, I'm just using some I bought these from Lowe's, you know, just regular Allen nuts. Just make sure they're the right metric pitch and the length. I made sure I had to spray them over again with some black paint and then bake it, because they rust easy. So if you want to do that, you just want to make sure you watch out for the rust. I did it as well for the K-Tune, because the K-Tune one, it comes silver, so stainless steel. So I didn't want too much shine, bling bling, if you know what I mean. For the intake manifold, it's an RBC, the one that came with the car. It was in terrible shape. I'll show pictures of that as well. Had it powder coated local in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I think a company called MMS, sandblasting powder coating. Before I took it to them, I took it to a machinist, and what I had done was, and I'll show pictures, I guess you guys can see it down here, but I bought myself a 1/4 inch MPT, and I'll show pipe thread bong, and I wanted to tuck as much as I could the vacuum lines. So here is the fuel pressure regulator. Here is the waste gate, here is the boost gauge, and here is the 3/8 for the brake booster. So if I copied any one of you guys, please let me know. I just thought of it. The reason why I didn't thread the manifold itself, because I know I'm gonna fuck it up. I don't trust myself when it comes to, I'm not a mechanic, so I didn't want to have thin threads. So I just decided, you know, let me just go on eBay, see if anybody made these bongs, and drill the holes out, and just take it to the machinist, and they TIG weld it up, and it came out pretty good. I mean, I like it. One of the best achievements I guess I've done in my life. K-tune 4-bar map sensor. You guys can see that. Got my little shit tucked here. It says map. Stock throttle body. I'm using K-tune thermal gaskets. Poretd for the stainless steel for the exhaust manifold. For the header. What else? Yeah, stock throttle body. I want to get rid of that because it doesn't look good. And I think I'm going to get rid of this EGR port, but I'm not sure because wherever I move to, I probably may need to do missions. So if I can figure out a way to bypass that, I'll do so. But I just have it capped off for now, and I have the line running down to the ground. K-tuned water housing. I like that piece. I guess I could use a stock one, but I just want to make everything look clean as much as possible. What else? That's it so far as far as on the motor. So for the transmission, Acuity shift bushing, Mtec shift spring, Speedfactory detent spring. Transmission is a 1 through 2nd PPG dog box engagement, or PPG engagement, because dog box is probably saying that I have a full dog box, which I don't, but I keep saying it. But it's just first and the second gear is straight cut dog engagement. The rest are stock gears that came in the car, 3rd through 6th, and I changed the final drive from a 4.7, which came with the car, to a 4.3, so I won't run out of gears too quick. Hopefully I can go full PPG. That's what I want. That winding, I don't think it's gonna get old for me. I just like it. It just gives that whole mechanical, just being engaged with the car type of feeling. I'm still using the stock shift cables. I had to rearrange them a bit just to fit the downpipe. A lot of modification I had to do, especially with this chassis. Pretty tight fit for everything. So yeah, that's it with the transmission. Still has a stock slave cylinder, master cylinder. I did the E-Mon mod to adjust it. Yeah, I can't forget I have a twin disc competition clutch. I like it, you know. I like the squealing noise and all that, you know, shit. It's cool. It's just having a clutch in this goddamn car is is okay with me. Yeah. So that was one of the problems with this car. So yeah, competition twin disc. Yeah. As far as the wiring, like I said, I'll show you guys. I've done the whole wiring harness myself. Had to depend a few things. As far as wiring is concerned with the battery. Oh, before I skip to that, just show you guys where my catch can is. I had to mount my catch can. Here's my catch can setup. Just a eBay setup. Nothing crazy. I have a vibrant and I can't find anywhere to fit it, so I spent all that money and I have nowhere to fit it. I had to figure out how I was gonna put my overflow, and this bracket is from the battery tray, and I just cut it so I would just be left back with this, which I like how that came out. Shit, I'm skipping all my intercooler piping. Intercooler piping is from Kmod. I have a tile 50mm blow-off valve. This is a legit piece as well. This is not an eBay piece. Yeah, so Kmod with a full race intercooler. I bought it from a guy just like this. I had to do a little bit of fabrication myself as far as the silicone piping, because for some reason they weren't long enough. I had to buy this bar from Full Race myself, because the guy didn't sell it with me. So I bought the bar for like $90-some. I need to repaint it because I was trying to figure out how I was gonna locate, you know, how I was gonna bolt it down. I want to go full Vangean setup, hopefully. So that's the plan. Have the IAT sensor right there. So yeah, that's the plan. I don't like the silicone, which I don't mind. I don't care really, but just more things I want to learn. TIG welding as well. Yeah, I want to do a full Vengeance setup with the car. So anyways, to the wiring, here I have my battery relocated. As you can see, that's where the stock battery used to be. Now this is where my new battery is. So I done all the wiring myself. First time doing something crazy like this. So here I have is a half sport battery box. I made this aluminum bracket myself, bend it as well. This is a D680. I got this set up from K24 Red Dragon. Sick ass, beautiful 8 Gen FA5. I asked him how he mounted it, but as far as I made this, I think he has his mounted different, or he had a bracket. I think he's one of the OEM brackets off the car, but this is how I did mine. I still have to bolt it up properly, but this I did myself. I decided I wanted to run a circuit breaker. You never know what could happen. So this is 250 amp, and I bought all this wire loom. Everything is ran 4 gauge. The plan was to run a distribution block, and I just couldn't find any way to mount it. So I actually have the distribution block right here. The plan was to run a 0 gauge from the battery and 4 gauge to the outputs. Again, I can't find any way to mount this thing, man. It's just so tight in this engine bay. So I just said, fuck it. I just ran pure all 4 gauge, and the car hasn't sparked or anything so far. So starts right up, man. So yeah, it's just, I got it off of eBay. It's called Scorpion. What I did, I just drilled some holes using my rivet gun. If you're doing car mods, newbies like me, you definitely want a rivet gun. That thing is one of the tools you want in your toolbox. So yeah, I just made some rivets and just bolted it down with some Allen nuts. And yeah, just how she look. This wire is running to my fuse for my relay for my fuel pump. As you can see, this is power from the battery. This is ground, and these two are for the starter and for the fuse box. I'll show you guys in the picture because you won't be able to see it. I had the whole charge harness kind of tucked, redone, so I didn't use any of the stock wiring. So the starter is getting straight 12 volts, and I have one running, you can see back here, to the fuse box, and one's running to the alternator. So that's how I did that setup. Again, I don't think it's nothing crazy. I'm sure I'm not the first to be doing this. But again, it's just something I wanted to do and learn, and I wanted to make the whole wiring look a bit neat. A few things I need to do over on it, especially with the heat shrink. But as far as that, it's holding up. Well, you asked, I didn't route it to the back. I didn't want to have anything as far as electrical with the surge tank mounted in the back, and I didn't want to run a long wire all the way from the front to power the rest of the accessories. I had to run a full-size battery. I'm sure I could have found a dry cell, but who knows what the future holds, man. I don't know, but I love this setup. It looks good. It catches the eye. A lot of people ask me, hey, man, is that your battery? And if you're wondering, this car won't be driven in the rain. It's not a daily driver. As far as you can see, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's set up. And this car was built in the rain. Unfortunately, I'm surprised all this shit works. All this shit sits in the rain, and that's why I want a garage, man. So yeah, this car is literally built in the rain because I got no space. So yeah, that's as far as much as the setup, man. Let me take you guys to the back. If I'm forgetting anything, I do apologize, but nothing crazy. Yeah, just a stock-ish. I know Humber farmers get chewed out with stock K20 or stock this or stock that. So let me show you guys the back. I'm not running exhaust, so it's straight downpipe. So let me pop the trunk and show you guys the surge tank setup. Okay. So for my fuel setup, I have an in-tank pump. I have a D-Works 340 liter power pump, and here I have an AM 450 400 liter power pump, inline Bosch style pump. So all this crazy wiring going on here, if you guys are wondering how this work, I wanted a radium because I love how the thing look, but this is an eBay 2 liter tank. Hasn't given me any problems so far. I would like to get a radium, save it for that, but it's not a big deal. This works. All I did was just drill a hole, put a rivet, bolt it down. As far as the wire, the fuel setup running for the lines, it's 6N lines. I want to buy new lines because these are eBay lines. Nothing has leaked on me so far, but I don't like how they fray. So, and again, I don't have any shame to say this. I'm using a combination between Fragola fittings and eBay fittings. Fittings are expensive, especially when they get bigger. They just get expensive. So I'm sure a lot of guys could relate. They're not cheap. So this one here is from the pump feeding the tank. Okay. The other one here is return from the tank to the pump, or to the chassis tank. This one here is return from the fuel rail to the surge. This one here is feed to the rail. Again, it's confusing. I'll probably do an in-depth video. And I have, I think this one is negative and this one is the positive, and I have it bolted down right here. That's the negative setup. I have everything in wire loom. I just wanted it to look pretty, and I haven't reinstalled the back seats. So yeah, this setup works fine. I haven't seen any weird thing as far as my gas reading. I'm sure it's a bit off, but I try not to run out of gas because I have a bad habit of trying to see how far I can go without putting gas in my cars. My wife can tell you, especially on road trips, I don't care. Thing will be 0 and I still want to go as far as I can. So, give you guys a close up. And this everything. I want to change this setup. I just want to get the car up and running and whatever. You have label just to let me know what's going on, but I pretty much know everything by heart. So yeah, so I have my Harbor Freight jumper pack with my tools just in case. She needs to clean out, so my apologies, she's dirty. And that's it with the back. I love the search setup. I popped the trunk yesterday, and a lot of guys was like, man, what's that? That's cool. They don't used to seeing things like this, man. Even me, I'm not used to seeing, especially from a Honda. Went to Walmart, had the guys come over and did some repairs on the house for the landlady. I was like, man, they got so caught up with the car, man. So I really wanted to show you guys, Hondas are not just race cars. You can do a lot of things with a Honda. So this is the front. Sorry, it's starting to get dark. Yeah, stock. Dirty. Yeah, my Flash Pro. Yeah, my accelerate gauge pod, which I'll switch over to the next side. As you guys can see, boost gauge, AEM gauge, AFR gauge. I have, all this is wired to the fuse box, to the bottom of the car down here. If you guys want to know how all that's wired, I think there's videos on YouTube about how to find the switch or a constant 12 volt. Yeah, I have my fuel pump, the neat toggle switch I bought off eBay, and my fuel pump, the back has constant 12 volt, so I can turn it on and off without the key in the car. As you can see, the key's not in the car. Here it is. Let me zoom in. That's just to make sure it has the adequate voltage that it needs to get. Now the pump in the car doesn't have a relay setup, so it's just running off whatever voltage it's getting. So I didn't want to mess with all that wiring in the car at first, and that's when I got to the surge tank and realized the kind of wiring that involved with doing it. It was like, fucking man, might as well I just wired the the fuel pump in the car, because that, I don't think I need the surge tank for the power I want to get, but you never know. You never know. And again, all this is just for learning. So as far as the switch 12 volt, get the key out. You see all that, all that shit lights up. Now this is a glow shift. Stop that beeping. Glow shift gauge, boost gauge. I'm not so liking it. I'm not liking it. So hopefully I can get an AM. And as you see, the typical AM AFR gauge. Again, I showed you guys a flash pro. Again, it's just stock, man. I didn't want too much going on in here. Stock shifter. The only thing I want to change is to get me a hybrid short shifter setup. Other than that, man, I don't want to go too crazy. I like to change the seats, maybe get some stator seats, something just to shave some weight off the car. Some harness bars for some 4-point harness or whatever. Other than that, man, I just want everything to be stock. Like you can't see, I have a bunch of wiring, but I have everything nicely tucked, whatever. I don't want too much going on in there, in the cockpit. And then that, man, I'll give you guys a startup. I don't know what else I'm forgetting. Pretty simple setup in my opinion. Nothing crazy. But yeah, let me give you guys a cold-ish start, because I had to start it up earlier to check a few things. I still have a lot to do on the car. So yeah, let me give you guys a startup. One thing I forgot to mention, the car is lowered. Only the front though. So I bought some what do you call it, form and function type 2s from a guy off 8gen. And man, I don't know. My fault. I bought them so long ago. For a year. I just had them in the box. They came here. I was like, okay. I opened one of them and I just left it. Everything's okay, just the rear, I don't have any, the rear isn't low, the rear is still stock. It sits beautiful, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's missing that rubber insulation that goes up top, and it has that washer. So I may have to call Form and Function and ask if they sell it separately. If any of you guys have that, I don't know how much you guys want to sell it for, but yeah, because I want to make sure I have everything done right. So the front is lowered, 2-inch drop, but the back is stock. I was like, but it's low because I rub sometimes. And for the drag radiator setup I have, which I revealed sometime, I have some tires, I have a set of rims. So yeah, I definitely want to get that back figured out. I gotta get me some. I have some doorman, just some regular camber kit. But yeah, this. You guys already heard how she sounds, so no check engine light. I like how she out it. Yeah, just no check engine light. You guys can see. AFR gauge going crazy because I still have a lot of work to do with it. I know if any of you guys have this situation, when I get to a light, it wants to die, and when I downshift, especially with the competition clutch, I don't know if that's one of the causes of it, but it'll die out, and you know, when you do that clutch start, and then when I come on the clutch, it'll turn back on. If I don't feather it, it'll die. So I think maybe something with the tune, hopefully the timing ain't off. I know I did that killer setup. Again, I mean, I really don't care if I have to pull the motor again, but I'm just waiting on VTEC to come back with me with a revision tune, and hopefully we can work that out. That's the only problem I have so far. I have a few leaks that I need to address, coolant leak. Other than that, everything's okay. So I'll be tearing the car down again. So stay tuned for one of those videos, that video. But yeah, man, I love how she sounds, man. I don't know if I'm able to put it in gear with the. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear that clunk with the dog box or the first gear dog engagement. So for newbies out there, I had to make sure I knew what I was getting into. Just because it's a straight cut and you don't need the clutch doesn't mean you don't need the clutch. So when you're taking off, you still need your clutch. So maybe you guys heard that. Take it out. So I love that shit, man. That shit's so direct. So yeah, you still need your clutch. As far as going into the other gears, if you're a full dog box, you do not need your clutch. It's just only when you're going into first, you're going to need your clutch. I still use the clutch anyway, so if I'm going in through, okay, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, reverse. I still use the clutch when I'm driving. But when it comes to the, serious shit, send it shit, blah, 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 you know how it goes. So yeah, man, I'm just happy that this shit runs, man. Other than the tuning and whatnot, doing shit, I drive it now and then, other than it wanting to stall every time I get to a light or I slow down, or even if I rev it, it just die out. Other than that, man, I drive it now and then, just try to get the braking miles in. I'm still on cheap oil. I'm using CarQuest Advanced Auto Oil, so I'm not really counting that as my braking miles. But I do have 10 weight 40 Motul braking oil and OEM Honda oil filter. I'm sorry. So I'm not counting what I'm doing as braking. So if I do, it probably be more than 500 miles. So I checked the oil level is still good. It's not burning any oil that I know of. Everything's still looking to where it needs to be. It's just the whole, I don't know if it's the tuning or the timing's off or whatever, but if you guys have any help or whatever, like I said, I'm waiting for the guy to get back to me. If you guys know anything that I don't know, I'm still new to all this shit. I definitely appreciate your help. If I have to pay you guys, I don't mind paying you. I'm all about the money, so if you guys need any commission for your help, I'll definitely pay you all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about this free shit. So yeah, that's all with the car, man. Again, I love her. She's not going anywhere because me and my wife spent so much money on this car with her help. So this car isn't going anywhere. This is the last car to go anywhere. Guys, leave your feedback. I'm gonna end this video right here. Hopefully you guys can hear me because again, she's loud. So like, share, subscribe, guys, and just leave your feedback, man. Thank you for watching. Peace out.